Mr. Balaji Nagaraj Kumar, one of our esteemed alumni. Mr. Balaji currently works as a product manager at Volvo Cars in Sweden and has pursued higher studies in highly recognized institutes like Eindhoven University of Technology, KTH Royal Institute of Technology, and ESADE Business School. Apart from this, he has also undertaken a lot of research activities and has interned in top-tier research centers like CERN. It is our honor to have you with us here, sir. We hope to learn a lot of valuable insights from your interaction with us. I now leave the stage to you. Please take charge of the meeting, sir.
Thank you, Vishagan. Thanks a lot. A very special mention to ACM organizing committee. Thanks for organizing this. And you mentioned about this as a talk session, but rather than I would like to call this as a sharing session, where I would like to share my experience, what I went through, which I felt would have been better if I got to know or got to understand when I was a student, like you guys now. So the pure intention is just to make this as a sharing session rather than a talking session. And one thing which I would love to have in a I hope I'm audible, right?
Yes, Balaji.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. And I would like to make the conversation as in the event to be more of a conversational event rather than having a monologue where me talking all the time. Feel free to turn on your cameras, which I always encourage. If you guys can make this more engaging, and if you are in a position to turn on the camera, feel free, go for it. Your expressions are like, I mean, the language of the conversation that we're trying to have here is it's like both English and Tamil, which is where our college is located, Tamil Nadu. Enna intention we can able to make this more of an interaction where I can able to get your reactions and make bore adichinna I'll just switch easily. So it's not about the intention is not to give some sort of a talk or something. It's to make use of my experience, what I went through as a thing that you can get benefited from, if at all it helps you in any possible way. So still just try to make it as useful for you and as well as for me to share it, make it more of a sharing event. Thanks organizers. And I would like to mention a thing to you all, especially Vignesh and the team. Super organization, summer team, and it's actually a very good experience. I mean, talking about experience, it's a very good experience that you as a student could able to organize something by having relations with alumni and bringing back more people, not just alumni, more esteemed out there in the industry, and make it useful for all.
Right, sir. So let's begin. Like you said, experiences you would want to talk about your, as a college student.
Shashanka, I would like to interrupt. Sorry. Let's not make sir. Okay, I don't encourage the word sir as such. It's a very British imperialistic word. Let's not use sir. Just call me bro or Balaji or whatever you feel like. Just make it more interactive.
Okay, bro. Bro feels very weird. All right.
just go for it. I mean, it's not about. I mean, there's no point in having sir or respect in a person. I mean, it's just humanity, right? At the end of the day, so just go for it.
Yeah, we'll go more formal. Sorry, bro. You graduated in 2015 from EEE. So let's start from the beginning itself. Since where we are right now is there only. So we can you talk about your personal background before joining college and how your college life was and how was your experience basically?
Sure, Shashanka. If I can share my screen, can I have a presentation shared with you guys? I mean, it's not going to be like a set deck of PPT. Don't just panic. It's the end of a week, or you already had enough dose of your PPTs for the week. Let's not dose you with more PPTs, but it's going to be less cognitive load, but it's going to be more informative. I guess I reckon. If not, just stop me in the middle. I mean, stop me in the middle and or let me just share the right screen, the one which I have the presentation on. Yeah, I hope you can see my screen now.
Yeah, it's visible.
Cool. Answering your question, Shashanka, I'd like to start off with having the topic as experience the experience. I mean, it's all about learning at the end of the day. Where I mean, Yeah, so I'd like to start off with this as a base. What do you feel like?
Maybe searching and growth, like learning. That feels like growth, the second part, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. That's what I wanted actually. You could able to get the essence in a very minimalistic way. So the slides are going to be like that.
Right.
It's pretty much right. George Bernard Shaw, I'm going to quote few people, which I mean, quoting is not in a very cliche way, but it's in a very helpful way. Life is not about searching something. It's all about creating your own something. So you don't have to search for something that you have to do in your lifetime. It's all about creating your own path, your own destiny. So அப்படிதான் I started off. சின்ன வயசுல I feel like I don't want to go in a footpath of someone else. I just want to create my own and pretty much அப்படிதான் என்னோட இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன் எல்லாமே இருந்திருக்கு. நான் இன்டென்ஷனலா பண்ணல, but that's how I was. But அதுக்கு மெயின் ரீசன் என்ன அப்படின்னா லேர்ன். ஸோ லேர்னிங் இஸ் சம்திங் ஈவன் நானுமே இன்னும் லேர்ன் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். ஸோ நானுமே இன்னும் லேர்ன் பண்ணிருக்கேன், எல்லாருமே இன்னும் லேர்ன் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. அது ஏஜ் ஆஃப் 80 கூட யூ வில் பி லேர்னிங் தான். ஸோ லேர்னிங் இஸ் தி கான்ஸ்டன்ட். பேசிக்லி வந்து லேர்னிங் வந்து இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும் லைஃப்ல. யூ ஹாவ் டு ஐடென்டிஃபை த லேர்னிங் ஆஸ்பெக்ட் இன் எவ்ரி எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் பார்ட் ஆஃப் யுவர் லைஃப். ஸோ அதுதான் வந்து இட்ஸ் கோனா பி மோர் ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல் இன் மேக்கிங் யூ க்ரோ டுவர்ட்ஸ் வேர் யூ வாண்டட் ஆல்வேஸ். For example, what do you feel like? It's going to be more talking slide. So there are three aspirations, three kind of people out there in the world: perfectionist, iterator, procrastinator. I feel I'm an iterator. Pretty much எல்லாருமே வந்து will fall in these last two. Either you'll be a procrastinator or you'll be an iterator. So there's no one who's going to start off like they're perfectionist in that field and gonna rock the code or rock the world on the very first iteration. அந்த மாதிரி யாருமே பெருசா வர மாட்டாங்க, யாரும் கிடையாது. Pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
Iteration is how you start your process. I mean, iteration வந்து it's one of my favorite. As a part of ACM, you guys code a lot, and of course you love iterations, I guess. So it's all about having the different iterations and having, I mean, it's not about having only positive iterations. You can also include negative iterations where you never know. So எந்த பாத்துல போறோம் அப்படின்னு தெரியாது, you'll be just going through this iteration, but then the main goal, the global maxima is going to be growth. So அப்படிதான் வந்து which is growth towards perfections. So அந்த மாதிரி தான் வந்து எல்லாருமே I would just force you guys to do that. So don't just procrastinate. You never want to be a perfectionist at the first hand. Start with iterations, grow with iterations, and that's how things work in the world as well. ரொம்ப philosophical போயிட்டேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Let's go dig deep into the agenda.
Right.
So let's I mean, the might not be answering your question, but I would like to stick with the flow. 90 minutes என்ன கைன் பண்ண போறோம்னா, I'll go through some introductions of the question that you asked, Sajanka, my personal life and how I see the alignment of learning from that career, from that experience. And then I also had some pre-engineer confusions. So you guys are still a pre-engineer phase there, so you will have more of a confusions and more of, I mean, few might have assert beliefs or something like that, but that's good actually. But it's good and bad. I'll try to convey some tips which can help you guys. And then I always use something called You Design You. You is a framework that I love to use in every aspect of my life, which I would love to share as well with you guys. So I felt, and that's actually an alignment of the excellence, I mean experienced excellence. And then we'll also talk more on the technological. You guys would have heard the term technology, but let's make it technological. I'll talk more on that technology aspect of logically thinking. Research meaningful. Research is a very good. I mean, it's a base. It's a base that. But why do you researchன்றதுக்கான aspect தான் நாங்க meaningful add பண்ணோம். So you have to do something meaningful in something to research. It has to be meaningful. So then we'll have more open discussions and more questions and feel free to let's set the cadence right for the next 90 minutes. Feel free to bump into the meeting and just stop me If you want to ask question, turn on your camera. There's no one who's going to judge you. Turn on your mic, of course. You should ask the question. Turn on your mic and camera, and we'll also have some breaks in between. I'll make the breaks more interactive, where we will have some fun activity. 90 minutes it's like super long. Of course, on Friday evening, weekend time, you'll feel a bit dozed off. So let's take it as chill as possible. I like Hari Hara Muttu Marish. Thanks for turning on the camera. Of course, you too, guys. Awesome. Anything that we can sit and make it more helpful? Cool. Okay. I'm already சொன்னதான். It's going to be a time travel possibility level. It's going to be time travel that I who's like 6-7 years like say 3rd 4th year la இருக்கீங்க 6-7 years above your current timeline la பாத்தீங்கன்னா how and what are the mistakes that you could have rectified, or you what are the things that you did best சொல்றதா நான் என்னோட செல்ஃப்க்கு நான் சொல்றதா I feel like doing this particular talk session or sharing session. Okay, before going into the session, let's have a mentee. Take your phone, guys. And try to scan this code. I would like to see the attention of you all 151 people out there. Just like that. I reckon everyone would have scanned it by now. Any feedback?
Yes, it's working.
Cool.
It's working.
So, what is engineering to you? You all being top engineering school and on the you should definitely know what is engineering to you. I mean, there's no right or wrong question. It's pure fun. So try to make it. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. I could get some. I'll give another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's interesting. I was expecting 4 as my answer. நான் இந்த ஆன்சர் பண்ணா 4 தான் கொடுத்துருவேன். There's no right or wrong here, but நான் the third one I got it from Wikipedia. So you guys are super nerd நினைக்கிறேன். So you got it right pretty much. But fourth one என்னோட answer, my definition of engineering. I mean, I just studied engineering just to have a எனக்கு சின்ன வயசுல physics பிடிக்கும். So அதனால I just started studying engineering as a next mutual means. So but yeah, pretty I could get the audience right now. So it's all hardcore programmers நினைக்கிறேன். Let's move on to next. I think it should work. Yeah. How is the online ways of education, guys? It's going to be 2 years left closely. I could see the first option skyrocketing. Oh. Interesting. Of course, again, there's no right or wrong. Let's make it as interactive as possible. 90 minutes is super long. And I also would like to know more about the audience so that I can tune the talk. Now, I prepare pannirken, but then I can be more flexible in a way that is helpful for you guys. That's the intention. So okay. Let's give another 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Boring, bro. Nice. So see, the fact of what I mentioned, 90-minute conversation வந்து இந்த மாதிரி ஆட் பண்றதுலாம் வந்து ரீசனிங் இதனால தான். I don't want it to be boring, so let's make it as interactive as possible. So just pop up in the middle if you have any questions. Let's get into the subject. Why I got chosen? Of course, someone out you in the 150 would be talking. Someone many will be talking in the future to your juniors and stuff like that. But why I feel like I can able to relate more with you guys in the mode. I felt like I have a very good a backdrop where I came from. Basically, I born in the city called Ambasamutram. It's in a very rural southern part of India or Tamil Nadu. Then I grew up in Chennai. So I could able to relate more well with the both side of the spectrum. So whatever I'm going to talk is something that suits all you guys. So but one thing that I would like to mention, or three things actually, is the values. Wherever you come from, you have to have the values right, because you எல்லாரும் database படிச்சிருப்பீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். SQL, NoSQL, whatever it is, like you'll have a unique identity for a role. So ஒரு particular document or particular row, you'll have a unique identity, and that unique identity for human being வந்து I feel like values. So you carry your own value, which is inherited from your family or from your surroundings or from your upbringing, whatever it is, but from the origin. That is actually you have to persist that, and that gives you very special ingredient to your recipe that you are cooking as a life process. So that has to be there, and that gives you the difference that will bring you that you will bring to the table basically, and adapt. Wherever you are from, let's say a village, bro, I'm from a city. Everyone has their own advantages and disadvantages. So you have to have your own adaptations for the other one, because the world is super big, the world is super open. Just after I came to Europe, I realized that it's going to be not what I expect. The world is something super open. Try to adapt, try to make more networking. We'll talk more on the aspects that you can able to excel in your life. For now, I'll just relate it with my life experiences. So try to have more adaptations and play to your strengths, because of course it's good to adapt with the other environment, but you from your upbringing, if you are origin, you will have your own strengths. For example, I feel like, I mean, I from my countryside development, I feel like I can able to make more logical things easily. So I can able to come to a logical conclusion, decision making, and I try to get the strengths from that side. And then from the city side, I mean, not having a generic approach, but then from my personal experiences from a city side, I feel like I can have more exposures, more communication skills. I can establish of more of a networking within my own circle. So that sort of feel, and I feel I got to get from these different backdrops, and I try to play with my strengths. So you have to know your strengths so that you can able to play in the future. Talking about Vishagan, Shashanka, your questions on current phase. And I started off as an electrical engineer, SSN, but அதுக்கு முன்னாடி I was with நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி ரூரல் கண்ட்ரி சைட்ல இருந்து வந்து ஒரு ஸ்கூல்ல தான் படிச்சது வந்தது. But I was having a city exposure since I did some schooling in city. But நான் இன்ஜினியரிங் அப்படின்னு வரும்போது ஐ ஃபீல் லைக் எனக்கு என்ன பிரான்ச் ஆஃப் இன்ஜினியரிங் எடுக்கணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு டவுட் இருந்துட்டே இருந்தது. ஸோ பட் தென் ஐ சோஸ் எலக்ட்ரிக்கல், பிகாஸ் தட்ஸ் ஹவ், ஐ மீன், வாட் இஸ் இன்ஜினியரிங் ரிலேட் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க, ஃபிசிக்ஸ் இருந்ததுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஐ நேச்சுரலி சோஸ் எலக்ட்ரிக்கல். But of course, I do had courses from computer science. For example, Bala sir even took some courses for me, and few other professors from computer science, awesome professors, took some courses for me. And of course, the inclination of computer science has always been there even in electrical. For example, in electrical, I feel like the need of computer science in it was always there. So naturally, the inclination was always there, and of course, the knowledge through courses and stuff. But what does an engineering bring to a table? There are like very important element, which is anyone want to guess what does a study brings you? Engineering study, basically. One single word, actually, which is you might say, bro, I'll get knowledge, I'll get application mind or something, or I'll get degree or something like that. But that's something. Of course, it's a byproduct. But what you basically get is like thinking. You'll have the base on how to think and what to think in a different sense, different dimensions. I feel like these 5 thought processes is what I got due to the inclination of core branch engineering and computer science engineering. Or critical thinking. Critical thinking is like having a problem and how you are to solve that problem. Basically, it's like objectively analyzing situation and in a very tangible and intangible aspect, as well as the course of action எப்படி analyze பண்ணி ஒரு mental process தான் basically. அது வந்து it just sort of got from these engineering streams, and of course implementation வந்து which I currently use it in my work. How you can able to organize things. You guys are going through some final year projects or something with the final year guys. You'd love to organize things. For example, ACM has a very good organization team who would organize ideas, plan in a way. You'll get something from an engineering backdrop. Conceptual thinking, where you'll do some projects and you have to come up with some connections between different patterns, different technologies, different abstract ideas to give a complete picture of a concept. So அந்த மாதிரியான thinking aspect வரும். அப்புறம் innovative thinking, few or many will have new ideas coming up, new ways of approaching things to create different possibilities and opportunities. இந்த மாதிரியான innovative thinking, that's also engineering is also a platform for that. Intuitive, it's pretty much having an intuition from you, which is basically set by the base of education that you get from these engineering streams. So many might have different opinion on engineering as on the whole, but I personally feel engineering gave me the base for thinking. So it just provides me the strength of thinking, which is I'm utilizing now in my day-to-day work and life கூட. Perfect. Engineering set ஆயிடுச்சு. Now you'll have the natural question of what's after bro. I mean, எனக்கு இருந்தது actually. நான் வந்து engineering முடிச்ச உடனே okay, thinking process set ஆயிடுச்சு. I do have this thinking setup done. What should I do on a next question mark level? So there are 2 options, which is like 2 familiar options within the Tamil community or in the Indian community. Masters or work. Basically after studies னு போட்டுக்கலாம். நான் மாஸ்டர்ஸ்னா எனக்கு இருந்த inclination or work. But again நான் இது ரெண்டுமே பண்ணேன். So I did a master's. I also have worked immediately after my bachelor's. Because on campus placements, I got to work with basically I got 2 offers, one with Mu Sigma and decision scientist. Of course you guys will be இப்போ இருக்குதான் தெரியல, I don't know. And then Ford or Visteon சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு child company. So அங்க வந்து embedded software படிச்சது. I chose Mu Sigma because it's more of very appealing job and more happening things. After the decision scientist of data science, it was just a happening thing. I chose that and I went to Bangalore. I got exposed to different corporate level. It's actually kind of a startup level tools and stuff like that. I used to work like 16-18 hours and all, because Mu Sigma is a bit more rigorous back then. I don't know about now, but it was super rigorous. I was working for Walmart and pretty much all clients out there in US, doing some decision analysis for them. Then I chose for my personal reasons. I got to go to Chennai back, and I want to do something in near my home. So I chose the second offer. I just dropped from the Mu Sigma, and I went back to Chennai to pursue the second offer, which I already have in my hand. Of course, it's not a good idea, but of course now the placements things are super stringent, and they have very good streamlined options. So it's good and bad. Okay. So I started doing embedded software. with the Ford Visteon, and it was like a embedded software engineering position. I used to work on cool stuff because Ford EcoSport, Ford EcoSport Bluetooth stack. My code was there, so it's pretty interesting job. I could able to understand the automobile industry and stuff like that. So it just gave me the exposure that I always wanted in a proper work environment. But then there comes the disadvantages of for me personally, because I felt that having limited to what is exposed in an Indian environment. So I felt the need for something that's very global, and something was pushing me even in a very global scale, because Indian ways of working on them. They have, of course, every place has advantage and disadvantages. Indian place of work culture on the disadvantage, and you'll get to work with in a very home setup. You can able to have the impact saying within the company in a very people centric way, because you can able to relate more with the people out there. In Europe, it's a completely different case. I'll come to that as well. But I realized that I should have something global in my profile. And hence I chose this. Okay, I chose to do my master's. Okay, these are all coming under introduction, so not to ponder more. Masters every now ponder some interesting on a pace in my life, because I was not exposed to none in my family had a international master's degree or exposure. Of course, many are in the same case. Then I realized, okay, how to even approach the thing, approach stuff out there. எனக்கு எப்படி apply பண்ணனும்னு தெரியல. So I just applied as many universities as I can. In a very self-centered way. I just got to know about the statement of purpose and all those documentation work and all. Then I got to apply for I think 18 universities apply panninna. But these are all the universities that you're seeing now is like part of one single course, which is coming under EIT, European Union European Institute of Innovation and Technology, அவங்களுடைய ஒரு funded program. I got to know about this because they provided complete funding in terms of scholarships, merit scholarships, as well as your living expense. They also cover your living expense and college fees and stuff like that. Because I felt the need of having a financial backup is something pricking me, because masters in Europe or in any other place is usually costly on a very nominal front. எனக்கும் அந்த கன்ஸ்ட்ரைன்ஸ்லாம் இருந்தது. I felt like it's very good. Sorry, I think okay, might be someone had the mic on, but yeah, no worries. Just pop in like this and interrupt me if I'm boring or if I'm interesting to create any question or something. But yeah, continuing the education part that I went through. First year apply பண்ணும்போது I didn't get any university because I don't know how the application process works and stuff like that. But again, as I mentioned, it's all about the experience. It's all about the iteration that you do. Then the next year I applied 18 universities and I got 16 admits. One with complete full scholarship, which is what you're seeing now. It's actually a cross university program. It's since it's funded by European Union, I get to travel among different universities in the Europe. They have tied up and collaboration with. For example, I started off with Sweden, which is KTH, like Sweden's top tech university in engineering, where I did eight months of engineering there. Basically, I studied more on the electrical and more on the smart electrical level, where I could able to. It's basically electrical and computer engineering, if you can put that in 3 words or 4 words. Then I have to move to Belgium, basically KU Leuven here. It's one of the world's top university again in engineering. And then I moved to Poland for my another modules. Then I moved to Spain, where I was doing some module in Barcelona. Second year I moved to Netherlands, which is basically at TU Eindhoven. It's a bit poor in background, sorry about that. but it's in a city called Eindhoven. It's again one of the Netherlands top tech university. So இது எல்லாமே வந்து அந்தந்த கண்ட்ரியோடைய டாப் யூனிவர்சிட்டியோட யூரோப்பியன் யூனியனோட ஃபண்டிங். ஸோ நான் அங்கே தான் வந்து I get to do different courses and different exposures. I'll talk more on the experiences level of how I went through all these modules out there in the forthcoming slides, not to put you all in one place. But if you see, if I've seen in the previous slide, so many universities, and why, you might be asking, why bro, university, and what, how does that make the difference in your life? I was deprived of opportunities. It's always good that if you have more opportunities. I was deprived in my earlier stages, and I felt like if you have one opportunity coming up, it usually multiplies as if you can able to seize it rightly. So that's how it started off. I got one opportunity in entering this master program, then I can able to seize the opportunities in different spectrums, different dimension, and it just basically just multiplies. It's a Chinese proverb said by Sun Tzu. Opportunities multiply as they are seized right. So that's exactly happened to me. Again, iterations. It's not one single iteration that you can able to get that right. Experiences matters, and every iteration that you perform gives you experience not to fail, and makes you basically there's another good proverb. I mean, not to quote more, but I love to make things as short as possible. If you want to increase your success rate, double your failure rate. So if you can, for example, என்னோட failure rate ஒரு 2 year நான் apply பண்ணி கிடைக்காமனால தான் எனக்கு வந்து 3rd year I get to get this wonderful course and different opportunities. There's no shame in telling a failure. If it helps someone not to fail. So yeah, that's the point. Then I also did my summer school in business management entrepreneurship. I always love the aspect of business management entrepreneur because city exposure, again rooting back to my values, city exposure of having communication and establishments made me go through business management and entrepreneur as an interesting path in my career. So then I also had a exposure at the ESADE Business School, one of the world's top 10 in business management. It was very rigorous 2.5 months of summer school. It was I'll just go through the experience as well. Awesome. Coming back to Menti. Any questions in this current pace of short introduction?
Finally, from which university you got the certificate?
Sorry, English?
Finally, from which university you got the certificate? Now, like you did in these many universities.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, the certificates are from these two universities. It's a dual master program. I got a master degree from KTH, Sweden, and I also got a master degree from Netherlands, basically Netherlands University. But these all three universities gave me some module courses, and I also got a diploma from European Union. I also got some a module completion certificate from business schools that I did. But then the degree is from Sweden and Netherlands.
Okay, so all this is part of a single program.
Yes, it's all part of single program. It starts with one opportunity.
Great.
Any more questions? Shashanka, are we in track? Side track just stop me, bro.
Sure.
Go for it.
I guess someone is asking a question. Yeah, let them.
Actually, bro, how did you came across this master's program? I mean, how did you know about this master's program?
Yeah, interestingly, rooting back to my first slide of iterations, I got to apply 18 universities, as I mentioned. I think 18, thanks, Nihal. Thanks for your camera on, but no problem. 18 universities na sonadam. This one that I applied was like, I think it's somewhere around 15 or something. I got in admits from US, Germany. Since I failed in the previous year, I got to know how not to fail in the next year, at least not completely, but at least to a very good extent level, where I get to admits from all these universities, Sweden, Denmark, in Germany. I was like all in. use as many opportunities as you can. But this one specific program is a resultant of rigorous searches that I did. It's pretty much basically merit la kudupanga on the scholarships. They basically select 27 candidates, 20 different nationalities. I got to work with 20 different nationalities in my masters, like Venezuela, South Africa, or Germany. Different culture, different backdrop. I was one among them representing India, and it's really good program. I would recommend if you guys are able to come up with. Thanks.
Anna, like, what it actually took for you to be one among those 27?
I'll just go through that. I'll iterate. I mean, as a student, how you need to leverage the student experience in order to excel. I'll go through the process. I'll go through the framework and the process. That's a one question. I'll note down. Not someone like நான் கடைசியில வரேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நான் அதை விட மாட்டேன். I'll just come back. No worries.
Okay.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Do you think previous work experience helped you for this masters, or do you think it will be better to go directly to masters?
Well, actually, I mean, I'd like to interrupt, to be honest. We have different things planned out. This is just an introduction part. We will definitely come to all of those questions later. So we'll keep it for later. So right now, let him finish off this Menti time, and we'll get to the next modules and stuff. Right?
Awesome. Let's stick with the comparer. And if you can see the screen, can you scan the code? I've noted a question, Pratyush. I'll just cover that in the open discussion session. So not to worry.
Yeah, sure.
Balaji, we also have a question in chat. Like Saravanan asks, how did you manage with languages? So I think that's a really good question to ask.
Interesting. Definitely. Until we give another 5-10 seconds for the Menti to get scanned. Language is something is super peculiar in Europe. I studied German because I earlier planned for German universities. So I could be able to do some understanding within the Germanic languages, which is Swedish, Danish, a bit of Dutch, of course German. But when it comes to Spain or Spain, I really got tormented. I mean, it's something. The Southern Europe has a very stringent language policies, but language again, it's like coding. Like if you know the logics, if you can able to convey what you want to do, then syntaxes are like in a very human-centric level. Computer languages, but you can able to communication. If you have the communication streamlined right, then it should be. But now I'm seriously learning Swedish and a bit of Spanish. Cool. Let's get back to the Menti. Where do you want to work, guys? Where do you prefer working? To computer science people, of course, product based, which is Volvo Car and the physical product based company or tech company, or proper software product based tech company, Google Madhya, or a startup like Datatar. What's Datatar? I'll come back. Datatar Madhya, startup Madhya, on your own, you want to do something in your life. Where do you want to work? Again, getting the audience right and make it as chill as possible. Nice. I think we are keeping up the pace because it started off at 100 something. We closely have 85 now. So I reckon I'm in a very good interaction point with you guys. Keep the spirit up. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Let's move to the next one. Not to ponder here, but thanks for Volvo Cars. I mean, I'm sitting right now in Volvo Cars. Basically, I'm facing the building where safety, the seat belt invent பண்ண building அங்க தான் இருக்கு. Just facing that building. And it's proud and happy to see Volvo Cars getting more numbers. Thank you. Moving to next. Masters. If so, why? Why do you want to do masters? Interesting. To get more exposure and knowledge. Again, what else I can expect from a very nerdy computer science backdrop? Come on. I mean, people, come on. Nice. But I'm super happy. I mean, very right set of audience, and of course, I mean, SSN. Come on. How do you feel about this, Shashanka?
Well, actually, I feel like some people are coming into pressure because the results are on screen. But let's, I don't know. Some people might be changing their actually how they feel. But I feel like it does reflect us to what I've been seeing in my friends and all.
Yeah.
These ratings are
nice. Cool. That's very, very interesting result, and I mean pretty much expected. So it's interesting that way. Yeah, we have reached the end of the presentation of Menti 2. Let's get back to work. Thanks for giving me some insights. You have a natural question. Work, of course, even after masters or even after bachelors, you got to work. Then that's where we had the question, where do you want to work on, kind of a question. We had this at the current structure of the world order, we have very interesting corporate or entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is the way entrepreneurship is picking up very, very faster in the Western world and also in Indian market. So I can able to relate with both, because I work in both the cases. I mean, I currently am a product manager for architecture and strategy, Volvo Cars. I'll explain what I'm doing on a daily basis, and I can also help you understand how to strategize the work and job kind of a field in a very corporate world. And I also own a startup called Datatar, which is I'm a founder and CEO of that. I would like to quote few people out here. I'm super happy quoting them. Chaitanya, which is actually a final year CSE guy. He's actually a part of the founding team, and this Sanjay from IT, and this 3 new thesis person from CSE as well, Sriram, Vignesh, and Sushmita. Yeah. So it's super good to have a very good connection with you guys and have a very, very amicable relationship. Thanks you guys. So not to divert more, how does you get to experience the corporate world and also in a very entrepreneurial world? What suits you up? We'll just go through by explaining what I'm doing currently at Volvo Cars. Sitting here at Volvo Cars talking about Volvo Cars is like, as I mentioned, proud moment. Thanks to both Volvo and you guys. With Volvo, I'm currently working as a product manager. So I've started off in 2019 after my master's. I got to enter this program called Global Graduate Program, where whole Volvo in the entire world market, they'll select 50 people. Out of, I mean, it's like more than 5,000-10,000 people apply for. So they get to select 50 people after 9 rounds of interview. In a Western world, interviews usually 1 or 2, 3 rounds, but this particular program kind of a environment, they used to have 9-10 rounds of rigorous Hollywood round. So I got to go through that, and it was really, really enthralling, because you get to test your own emotions, you get to test your own abilities, like little coding and all. I got 2 days of continuous interviews. I was here when I was studying. They flew me down and I was doing all those interviews. Then, They select all those 50 people and they put them in different departments across the world. I got to work with commercial operations. I got to work with proper core level software coding in the car, in the app, in the outside interactions with the car. So different interactions, different teams that you, for example, I even created some tools for, I'll go through that, tools for Volvo Cars autonomous drive. So I got to experience in the 2 years, 2019 till 2021, where I got to experience the real corporate level skills. So the main aspect of corporate level, how to succeed in Patana. Corporates are usually super big. For example, Volvo is somewhere around 40,000 people all around the world. And if you want to climb up the ladder, and if you want to make the impact that you want to have it in a corporate, you have to have the communication right. You definitely, I mean, make yourself as a world's best inventor, but you need to communicate that you invented something to the team, to the organization, to the streams and all. So you have to have your impact right by setting your communication right. Make use of the different online streams and tools, and learn communications even before you start working in a corporate. Let's say someone, I mean, I even got some interesting answers of Google. Google is like even bigger of 100,000 people out there. If you want to make your impact, if you want to join Google, don't just join Google and be yet another software engineer earning 120K in the Sunnyvale in the US. And the Madri, it's definitely not the way that SSN at least is training us. So you need to have your impact right. You need to get your efforts right. So try to make as much communication as possible, and also ace your technical skills. If you want to go to corporate, you'll be having super good people, technically expert people out there. So if you want to talk to them, you should get your technology right. You should have your concepts right, language right, in order to even communicate right and get the impact that you always wanted. So that's like two important streams, two important point that I would like to mention. Currently, I'm after 2 years of the program, I became a manager at Architecture and Strategy. Where I'm working on a product called developer.volvocars.com. If you even go now and have a look at it, basically அந்த இருக்க எல்லா ப்ராடக்ட்டோட மேனேஜ் நான் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன். It's like basically developer.android.com or developer.react or developer tools. So I could able to release more products which can able to connect developers with a car. For example, a person sitting in Vietnam don't have access to Volvo Cars, don't have access to make something really cool for a Volvo car. But we, as a developer portal, enable these tool sets for them to use the Volvo car and make use of the skill sets or the applications and APIs out there in the car to create their own application for Volvo Cars and have the establishments right. So I do the piloting and stuff with different companies. Amazon, for example, we're doing different pilots with different people. Android Automotive. Talking about Android, Volvo Cars is the world's first Android automotive car, like whole car la Android OS for the infotainment system. So adume it's a part of open innovation. It's all coming under innovation because you enable innovation through opening up stuff to the people. So adudha enoda working. Not to dwell deep on my work, it's all about sharing experience. So I'm moving on to next. Okay, you also have seen entrepreneurship. And I mentioned that I own a startup called DataCar, but it's not an easy cakewalk, of course, because startups are super tedious. You need to know a lot. I got to create all these startups. Basically, இதெல்லாம் என்ன ஒரு funny logo இருக்குன்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எல்லாமே என்னோட startup which I created when I was a student and in different phase of my life. Shukozi, the one you see here, failed because it has a very flawed business model. Basically, we won a hackathon in Germany. That was my very first international hackathon. I'll go through how I ended up there, minding the time as well. Yeah, so that hackathon idea was encouraged by Shuko, one of the world's biggest facade maker, to bring out as a startup. But it failed because we don't have a business model. It was a very flawed one. We had one, but it's a very flawed one. Then I moved to KTH, basically the university where I studied, and pitched an idea for a swap. I'll just go through, not to go into the idea, but it's an idea for having a very swappable batteries for the next generation vehicles and stuff like that, with a very interesting business case and title. But again, there is a learning that I was not having a right team, but it was funded, it was registered, it even moved into an incubation stage, but I was not having a right team and not the right setup out there. Failed. Then I happened to have a hackathon in Munich, one of the Europe's biggest, they're called Tech Fest. We won that. I formed a team. I won the hackathon. It was the challenge that I won was funded by Osram, the lighting company. We created a business case and we pitched the idea. It's called Office and for the environment for the office lightings and stuff like that. But then there's no market need. Failed. All these made me understand that I should do some business school. So that's how I ended up ESADE. If you've seen in the previous cases where I ended up in ESADE. Again, learning. So you got to learn a different phase of your life to not make the mistake again. It's fine if you make the mistake again, but don't do it the same one again. So it's like you will encounter different mistakes, but don't do the mistake again because you already learned. The purpose of learning is to utilize it. So don't just do it again. So here it's like a timing. ESADE, I was doing the business management entrepreneurship, where I get to come up with the idea for intelligence in energy systems. So we got to create this energy lens, and it's been backed up by a professor in ESADE Business School. But again, there was a different timing there because I was going through this master program and stuff like that. They wanted us to have a pause on that idea. So that was the idea that I got from all these startups. And then I ended up founding this DataThon. So this is something is coming up as a one next big thing because it's been backed up by Volvo Cars and Ericsson, and we have been selected as one among 300 startups, one among 10 which got selected from 300 startups for a next batch of incubation, and it's actually basically a product for data privacy. We do data privacy aspects for the any connectivity. For example, we never know if my Siri is listening or Google Assistant is listening. We never know what's happening around us in a very connected environment. So this DataThon ensures that what you're sharing with and what you want to share, and put back the control of whether you want to share or not. It's more on a data privacy level. So that's the intention with the startup. So the aspect of startup in Patana, it's like perseverance. Corporate different, but in entrepreneurship, I learned it's all about perseverance. Just don't give up. Start fighting. I mean, you have to go through different iterations of different levels of fighting, and you need to tackle different problems because it's like an open world problem, and you need to solve that. So you will have problems from coming from different angles. Just be ready and more flexible to tackle them all, and be ready to lose some of your sleep in the nights. So that is something that I learned from a entrepreneurship stage. Yes, but looping back to pre-engineer. Now, introduction, I can able to relate more well with the setup that you guys have in something in your mind. So let's talk about something that I can able to directly give some tips or something which helps you guys. Pre-engineer confusions are something that I personally had when I was engineer. When I wanted to become an engineer, like 3rd, 4th year, I was gearing up all those GRE, TOEFL, and all those job interviews and stuff like that. Am I even competent enough to be an engineer? That was the very first question, because I do have some good CGPAs. I got some, actually I got merit scholarships from SSN. Thanks to SSN. They're super kind enough to facilitate this, the merit scholarships if you get some good CGPAs. But thanks for that. But still I had the question of, am I competent enough? Because I've always thought that perform in different aspect, different angle. That gives you a self-doubt. I mean, but don't take that as a very, very static mindset. Because static mindset, if you have a static mindset, then you'll be like, he did it very good. Then of course, but keep it dynamic in a way that அவன் பண்ணிருக்கான், okay, என்னால பண்ண முடியும். So that's the spirit actually, but that has to be in a very healthy way. Just don't take overboard. Take it in a very right measure and understand that you are competent engineers. You are competent engineers. There is always this question that comes up in your life, in different phases of your life. Trust the process. Trust the inner gut feeling that gives you the process. I'll go through the framework on how to even navigate the process as such. But also the question of what is future going to be? How will I be succeeding in my life? To whom I should compare with, or how to filter things into my life so that I can take that into the next phase of my life, which is the future. And I also realized that the free trial was ending, because now you guys are sitting in the house with your parents, which is not a case in Europe, which I also learned. Europe, 18 years later, they'll move out and they'll just take care of all the education and stuff. Of course, you do have your own bindings and stuff, which is, I'm talking a very generic scale, which I went through. The free trial of your life is ending, guys. So be serious and take things in a very, very serious way. But again, don't take the pressure. Just take the things in a serious way, but not the pressure. So again, the question of what to filter and who to follow, நான் சொன்னது அந்த what's best, what that suits me என்ற question இருந்துட்டே இருக்கும். மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணணுமா இல்ல ஒர்க் பண்ணணுமா? Just go with the flow, because எனக்கு வந்து மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணணும்ன்ற எய்மே இல்லை. I was started off working immediately after my bachelor's, but then it'll lead you through. You just have to think what suits you in a longer run, and keep that in a smaller modular pace and iterate in a different stages. The success timeline வந்து different for different. For example, என்னோட என் செட்ல, not to mention any name, ஒரு person had அந்த இயரோட டாப் சேலரி வாங்கினாங்க. பட் அவரை விட அரியர் வச்சிருந்த பசங்க, not to even give any imbalance, but this can happen, this potentially can happen or might happen. அரியர் வச்சிருந்த பசங்க now after 6 or 7 years they are having more establishments and more impact in the society. So what you have to believe is not the small things which that matters immediately after your bachelor's. Let's say the societal pressure that you get in terms of அவன் 7 lakh எடுத்துட்டான், நான் 10 lakh எடுக்கணும், அந்த மாதிரி there's no such attribute has to be there in your education. Just trust the process, go with your own flow, think what suits you. அதுதான் பார்க்கணும். ஏன்னா உனக்கு ஒருத்தனுக்கு சூட் ஆகுதுன்னு ஒருத்தனுக்கு சூட் ஆகுது. நான் முன்னாடி சொன்ன values are unique identifier. You just cherish your own values so that you can able to make things suitable for you. Yes, and these 3 words, people circle world, it's one of the eye opener for me, because after bachelor's, the entire set of people, the entire community that I got exposed to was completely different. I mean, now you might have a very close circle, but the world is super open, guys. I mean, having been to 25 countries already in just 2 years, I realized that it's the amount of exposure and the amount of opportunities out there to grab is like so much. Just keep your calm and get ready to adapt in a very open environment. Again, I told you the communication is a thing, so it's a tool to do that. But make your mental model to be open enough to accept all those changes that comes into you, because change is the only constant. The question of life, or life as a question mark, or life as an exclamatory mark, ன்றது வந்து எனக்கு இருந்துட்டே இருந்தது. But again, the answer to that is something that you choose, because the process as such is so if you see, again going back to Shashanka, our own friend, what do you feel about this picture, Shashanka?
Well, I guess the first one is what we hope to be, and maybe the second one is what is reality or something. Maybe we should find our means.
Yes.
First
one is a vision, and second one is a reality.
Yeah.
So it's whatever you think in your life is something as clear as possible usually, but that's not how real world treats you. The real world has all those entanglements and all those ups and downs that you have to go through. You have to endure that. So yeah, சொல்றேன் அப்படின்னா, you can not avoid that, but you can be prepared for that, so that you'll be exam you can't avoid, but you can be prepared to the exam in a way that you pass it. So that's the life. That's pretty much life. in different instances in different மாதிரி இருக்கும். But what I felt is something that's what I'm just highlighting here. But pre-engineer tips பார்த்தனா life exclamatory mark வச்சுக்கோங்க. Just don't put the question. Of course there will be questions out there. Think it in a very exclamatory way, and so that you can able to breathe and trust the process. As I mentioned, timing is not constant for everyone. You have to have your own process, right? So understand that anything that happens in your life, they're not normal to, I mean, they're normal to everyone's life. ஒரு டாப்பரா இருந்தாலும் ஒரு even though if you have more backlogs இருந்தாலும் it's not that matters. Basically everyone has their own ambiguity in their life. Everyone has their own set points that they want to match in their life. So just try to understand that everyone is going through something. Not everyone is sure of, I mean, not everyone is sure of doing what they want in their life in the next 50 years. Things are super dynamic in the world. And as I mentioned, இதெல்லாம் ஏன் சொன்னா அப்படின்னா, so that you can't of course avoid all those entanglements. You can able to preempt them, and you can able to organize in a way that you find the answers in a very organized way, which will be helpful for you on a longer run. So that's the ideology behind how you can able to tackle the pre-engineer process. Let's come back to the framework. The bro framework சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தீங்க, காட்டவே இல்லை bro அப்படின்னா. Now we are having the framework slide. I hope it's not super lengthy. Should I pause for a break or something? If you need some water, because I need some water. If you need some water, go for it. Go and grab your coffee. I think it's your dinner time. Even have your dinner in front of you and start listening. It's like a podcast, like a clubhouse, a very productive way. Cool. I hope crystal clear.
Yes.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting, and I'm able to follow along. I'm sure most of us are able to follow along as well. The PPTs are really well as well, to go with it. So let's learn about the framework. I'm really excited for this part actually.
Awesome. So this framework is something that, I mean, of course there's nothing as in framework in a word, but there's nothing this is what you need to follow. This is what I followed, and in my day-to-day daily activities, and it helped me basically. So let's go through one by one. Download, observe, empathize, transform, crystallize, and test it to deploy. Bro, நீங்க டிக்ஷனரியில வேர்ட் எடுத்து போட்டு framework சொல்றீங்க bro. அப்படி இல்ல. It's basically something like this. It's you design you. I always have the very belief of உன்னை டிசைன் பண்றது நீயா தான் இருக்கணும். அது அப்படி இருந்தால் தான் வந்து it will be more unique, it will be more worthy, and you will be more contentful, and you can able to achieve the happiness that you always wanted. You start off, I mean, let's say ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்கு in any form of life, in any form of matter, in any phase of your life, you have a problem. So you want to tackle that. How you start off with co-initiate. I mean, world is out of people, and you have to interact with people out there. You need to understand. Just stop the process which is inefficient now, as of now. So you have to go through a change in order to make the problem solved. So just stop it now and listen to what the world is telling. So you can able to understand the problem as such. ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் வந்து you can able to understand. நான் எக்ஸாம்பிளும் நான் கொடுக்குறேன் இது என்னன்னு, but just stop what you're doing now and listen what life calls you to do. Then observe how you can able to connect with the people and places to sense the entire system. So now, since you listened the world, you can able to observe and connect with those world, and can able to understand, okay, இதுதான் சொல்ல வருது இந்த ப்ராப்ளம். இதுதான் வந்து ஜாப் கிடைக்கலன்னா ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் எடுத்துக்கோங்க. You just have to stop preparing RBs or எதுனா புக்குன்னு தெரியல, but you just just stop and understand what the world is giving you. I mean, அவன் எப்படி கிளியர் பண்றான், இல்ல இங்க எப்படி அந்த ப்ராசஸ் இருக்குது, just understand and try to observe. இவங்க எப்படி கிளியர் பண்றாங்க, connect with the people. ஒரு கிளியர் பண்ண ஒரு பர்சன் எடுத்துக்கோ, கிளியர் பண்ண ஒரு இன்ஸ்டன்ஸ் எடுத்துக்கோ, how that matches up. So understand the process of how the world is treating that particular problem. come back to presencing, which is like a very good word. I love that word. Sensing the presence. So you have to sense your presence. உனக்கு நான் சொன்ன அந்த unique identifier தான். Just allow your inner self and make the emergence out of your own world. நான் உன்னோட worldல சொல்றேன். Your source of inspiration, your source of will and just dive and understand what your will can able to perform to solve that particular problem. World or problem இருக்கு, of course அது அவங்களுக்கு இருக்கு. But how you can able to solve it ன்றது தான் அந்த presencing and sensing your own presence. Create it along with the world. So there's no such thing that exists in a world that you alone can solve it. It's impossible. I mean, we as a human system, we as a society, we are formed in a very coexistential phase. So try to co-create along with the people and innovate in a very different way and try to prototype that what you're trying to solve along with the presence of your sense, and then evolve. That is where you evolve as a person to solve the problem. So now you have a different tool set. You have a different armor in your back. You can able to solve the problem in a very different way. Iterate. Go back, iterate, and that's how you solve your own. You design you basically. There are no ஒரு small pen down பண்ணனா, it's basically different levels of solving a problem. Yeah. First level on how you can able to react to the particular problem, paying attention to the particular problem. Having an open mind is a second level, where you observe from a different fresh different pair of eyes, and then you open up your heart in a way to sense the field within yourself. Then you can able to connect with your own will. Thereby you can able to form a vision and create the innovation, thereby solving the problem. So by co-evolving with the existing world. So இதுதான் நான் யூஸ் பண்ற framework. இது வந்து ப்ரோ நீங்க எப்படி தான் ஒவ்வொரு ப்ராப்ளம் காலைல எழுந்திரிச்சு நீங்க யோசிப்பீங்களா ப்ரோ, யூ லெவலில் யோசிப்பீங்களான்னு கேட்டேன்னா அப்படி கிடையாது. You just start practicing these methodologies whenever you feel like you don't have a clue, you don't have anything to keep it as a reference. Start thinking in a way that start thinking in different ways. This is one another way. Which I always prefer, and it has been helping me in different ways. But of course, at some point in my time, I have to change this methodology as well. And maybe it can be a different letter or something, different shape or something. U shape, but you never know. It's again an iteration. It's again a process. It's a experience that you learn from, and then use it to excel. Any question? Yet another crystal clear slide. Awesome. அப்புறம் நம்ம மென்டி டைம் போகலாம். Okay. Take your phone, guys. Let me present it. Present anyway. No worries. Yeah. I would expect the number to be more than 70-80. Help me, guys. Awesome. So much love. I hope these are all helping you at some point in time. If I can able to answer a question in between, I'll be grateful. Any question until it goes 80 or something? Shashanka, shorter one. Also, please do post your questions in the chat so that we'll take it in the later end of the session. That's edging towards 80. It's standing at 79. Perfect. Love you guys. 80. Let's move on. I'm gonna move to the next part. So what is the skill set? Forked GitHub repos are software development, data science, ML, web app. ML, I think ML நிறைய இருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். டேரக்டா SQL எடுத்து 2 அல்காரிதம் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன்னா ML இல்ல. Third point வந்து for those who speak more Tamil, நீதி நேர்மை நியாயம். Awesome. So resume போறது அப்படியே 44 people have chosen team player, logical thinking, problem solving, communication. Nice. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, guys. Please don't. It's all for keeping you engaged and getting the audience right. So nice. Cool. Nice. I could see more final years here. Resume la irukadha அப்படியே tick பண்ணிட்டீங்க. Team player, logical thinking, problem solving, communication. How does peer pressure shook you up? I know, SSN it's a thing, I guess. I mean, you just start comparing. ஒருத்தன் கூகுள் என்டன் வாங்கிட்டாங்க, எனக்கு நான் இப்போ ஃபேஸ்புக்ல வாங்கணும் இல்ல இல்லையா? அப்படிலாம் I'm super happy.
That's exact placement time like this is very
Yeah. I'm trying to connect as much as with you guys. So feel free to share your info. See the amount of pressure. Blue button is getting destroyed. Nice. But again, that's an interesting learning. Cool. Don't feel stressed guys. I mean, I repeat again. Of course, நீ சொல்லிட்டு போயிருங்க ப்ரோ. வீட்டில் எங்கள் அப்பா தான் கேட்பாங்க, ஏன் 10 lakh எடுக்கல, ஏன் 15 lakh எடுக்கலன்னு. But again, trust me, trust your own process. Trust. நான் வந்து 5 years முன்னாடி இருந்ததுன்னா எனக்கு நான் இதான் அட்வைஸ் பண்ணியிருப்பேன். Victory is not 5 LPA difference. Please. Try to understand. Of course, it's very difficult to understand, but it's something that I need to. I must be sharing with you guys. There's like so much more things that you can create in the wonderful, beautiful world. 5 LPA ku don't lose your dream. 10 LPA ku don't get stressed. You over individually சொல்றேன், you will succeed someday. Just trust the process and iterate in a very, very how much ever process, how much ever size, but you can able to definitely get the thing right. So it's not about pressure at all at any point in your life. Okay. I think I'm not entered to compound. I mean, I don't know in the set panadilla, but yeah. What do you want to gain from this sharing session to maybe at the end, like in able to cover that as well? Just one word. One word is enough. If you want, if you feel like, go for 2 words as well. Three, two, one. Okay. Of course, there's no correct answer, but thank you guys. I'll go through this meanwhile. Awesome. Let's get back to our duty. Okay. Okay. How was the process? I think I could answer Vignesh. எப்படி அந்த ப்ராசஸ் இருந்து ப்ரோ, எப்படி அந்த ஃப்ரேம்வொர்க் உடைய இன்க்ளைன் பண்ணி how I got the experiences and how I can able to land up in all those internships, and I got some questions, I guess. How I can able to land up in those internships, how I got this job and stuff like that. How to utilize the student life and how to make use of opportunities right என்ற process நான் சொல்றேன். நான் என்ன பண்ணேன்னு சொல்றேன். If it helps you, I'm super happy. If not, let's sit down and talk later. Assimilation. So it's a process that I went through when I landed up here in Europe. New country, new city, new culture. Pretty much the same for you, many batch as well. So you have a new set of people, new community, new set of tools and regulations and stuff. College, even in your work environment, in your work cycle. For me, I went through all these KTH, Sweden exposure. Thankfully, I landed in Sweden because Swedish people are super kind in a very generic level, so they could be able to accommodate me as a person. So I got to work with. So what I did is like I tried to understand the concepts right, so that I can able to talk the same language as these guys can able to in a very academic level, in a very industrial level as well. So I started making more friends. Because friends are the new connection point that you can able to get your next progresses in different parts of your life in a very productive way, friends, and of course start multitasking. This is like the age, you know, you guys are somewhere in the mid of your 20s, not mid of 20s, like early 20s or like even late 90s, 19, 18. This should be the age your blood should be gushing out. You know, you can able to achieve so much more. Trust me. If you can able to utilize your potential in a process that you feel like it's helpful, you can able to achieve so much more. So start multitasking. Just don't do one task. If you feel like bro na one panna enak adula concentrate pananum andha maari la irundha, start applying computer science, basically multi-threading. You know, just do one and then go for the next one and go for the next and go for the next. So just do as much engagements as you can at this very young age, because that answering Vignesh question will help you land in a very good profile. Where level profile you can able to be more confident when you talk in interviews in any different person or relation. You feel like, yeah, I did this and this. You have your own space to make your own impact. So start multitasking, which is what I started off when I landed in Sweden. I got to engage with International Consulting Network. It's a student-run network. I was supporting like 6 time zones. We were working with a team, 6 different people for a client in Brazil. So that was when pre-corona days. So where we were able to even pre-corona days, we did this in a digital ways of working, where I was doing consulting work. And FerroAmp is like a startup. I always fascinate startup. As you can see in my presentations, FerroAmp is a startup. Now it's actually an established company, but I was with them doing some cloud setup and stuff like that, which is in a very early stage of my master's. So basically, it's all about settling and do your courses and get the stadium right for you to play the game. Exploration. That's another important part of your student or daily life. Where you can able to explore as much as possible, so that again you have your very strong profile. Sorry if I'm going overboard. It's just 7 minutes left in Nagaraj. If I get the essence right, I mean, it's not going to take more, hopefully, but it'll. Let's see how far we can go. I think there's like 8, 9, 10. Okay. So that's like not stopping here, but there's a poll happening where you want to extend the session. Raise your hands if you want, or I can get the takeaways so that you don't miss anything. I know it's a Friday evening. You guys are super awesome. Thankful to you all for sitting down and listening. I hope it's helpful. At least help. I'm happy, because this is something that I always wanted when I was a student.
Now I have one question.
Go for it, Vignesh.
Yes. Now, so like even like should we do projects separately, or like does that value a lot? No.
I would say yes, actually, because Europe in the Western world படிக்கிறது அப்படின்றது வந்து இப்போ நீ பார்த்தோன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க, for example, இப்போ விஷாகன் வந்து he's having his camera on, he's listening to the talk, he's also doing something in parallel, which I appreciate, because start multitasking. I mean, you have to, another முன்னாடியே போட்டுருந்தேன், multitasking is something appreciable, because you can able to establish more things in a very quicker time, because நம்ம time period 70 years now, you need to make as much impact as possible, for which I personally would appreciate start, but learn the aspect of multitasking in a way that you can able to balance both. So you shouldn't de-roll in the education phase, but if you have the confidence that you can able to make things right in both the cases, go for it.
Okay.
Like Vishakhan. Awesome. I think it's just 25 hands. So should I? I'll just make a ramp up so that I'll not consume more of your time. Exploration, it's all about networking. For example, I did exploration to all these universities, and I got very good industrial connects. And of course, I asked the questions. So it's all about questioning, through which you explore more. Ask the questions. Don't just afraid to ask questions. Just ask as many questions as you want, so that you'll explore more wild twist. Networking aspect, that's where my hackathon experiences comes in, where I was with the different hackathon in different part of the Czech Republic, Berlin, Munich. I got to travel pre-corona days to different cities, and I again explored. And of course, networking, I still have so much contacts with those people in different companies and different academia. You get to present your ideas, you get to present in front of 1,500, 2,000 people on stage, the podium, and you get to join two things and make the implementation thinking happening, innovative thinking, which I earlier mentioned. Again, multitask, because you need to do complete product level management. Of course, it's a create spread phase of my life. Build your profile. இது எல்லாமே build பண்ணோம், but main வந்து have some really established or esteemed organizations in your profile. So CERN, and also at the same extent LED Safari கேள்விப்பட்டிருக்க மாட்டீங்க, it's a startup. ரெண்டு எக்ஸ்ட்ரீமும் போனோம்னா you have the understanding of both extremes, so that you can able to make the experiences build. So of course, the different spectrum like business, engineering, and stuff like that. Again, it's all about networking and having the teamwork. Do the multitasking right. So it's a build your profile, and how to integrate all these things into one. And பார்த்தனா you have to have the academia right. இது வந்து என்னோட மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ணும்போது என்னோட thesis timeல I try to link all those what I got in my profile into one single picture. Always have the big picture in mind, so that you'll have the impact. I mean, for example, இதுல இருந்து நான் என்ன லேர்ன் பண்ணேன்னா, என்னோட ரூட்ஸ் are completely tied up, and aggregation in terms of having the paper published and stuff like that. Again, multitasking and networking. Target, it's something that you need to start targeting even before you make the final point reached. So for example, I did thesis in all these in this actually in the Alliander company, one of the biggest in Netherlands. I got job offer, and I got job offers in all these three organizations and more, of course. But so which means like I already started targeting what I wanted even before I finished my masters. So and the concepts should be set right. So you'll always have your target right, and get your profile even more built in the next phase of your life. Multitasking must be there from my point of view, and graduate. That's the beauty. And it's not always right to get the final circle in one single thing. So you have to go through different iterations again. It's a process. You have to shape and etch the circle that you wanted in a different stage of your life, so that you will get the perfection at the end. Future areas technology are, let me just get back to the reality. How do we look now? Shashanka, can we continue, or I'll just go back to the takeaways and make the final words?
Well, I thought maybe, I mean, once you're done with it, maybe we can move on to the Q&A session. Actually, that's I feel like audience might be wanting to interact. I feel like Right now, that might be the best thing to do. Questions might be the thing. Okay, you finish off the takeaways. I think.
Yeah, I mean, again, nothing much more. It's just learn. Always just learn. You never get aged. I mean, you never feel you are completely an expert in any field. You will never feel it once you start learning more. And of course, focus on the big picture. Try to link the picture right, and think in a very logical way when it comes to technology, which we missed. But feel free to drop me a message. I'll send you the deck or something. And of course, grab as many opportunities. Try to seize as many as you can. Not every door is locked, right? You got to push one. Thank you and love you all.
Thank you very much.
Open for questions.
Many will be having questions like internship.
Okay. Okay. Internships, you got to approach, communicate, networking. For example, எனக்கு கிடைச்ச internships எல்லாமே நான் CERN-ல போனது வந்து it's like a global program. They select 10 people. Try to compete. I mean, you guys don't know the worth of you all. You can literally be such an easy global competent level. ஏன்னா நம்ம இருக்க talent நமக்கு underestimate பண்றோம்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Try go and explore more opportunities. I mean, if you go and get if you go for it, you'll of course get it.
Yes, now we had said like you are also looking for few interns and
yeah, of course.
Like other pati konjam sonningana like they'll get benefited.
Sure, definitely. I mean, with respect to Datatar, we do have positions for interns and stuff, and even Volvo Cars, and even in a very Western level, if you feel like you have to get your experience right, and if you can able to make a link with a particular position in any part of the world, let me know. And now usually weekends reply பண்ணுவேன் in my LinkedIn and stuff. So just try to reach out to me if you feel like data privacy is something that you always aspire, and of course in any other case of your life that you want to solve a problem in terms of internships and stuff. So feel free to reach out. Datatarla sama intern irukku, so just go for it. Again, not marketing it, but I feel like it's something that I would love to share. I also have seen a question in the chat. Is product management something we can do immediately after college? Wonderful question. Actually, it's something that you can do on a daily life as well. If you can able to think from a big picture and see how you can able to manage different aspects of a product, commercial, business, finance, technology, innovation aspect, or an R&D level, and from zooming out in and out and in a breadth level and depth level, if you can able to think, if you feel like you can able to relate with that aspect of the product, I feel there's no time for that. You can always if you have the passion, and if you, as I mentioned, if you want to go for it, you'll get it. But equip yourself in a very professional way. I would recommend Product School, which is a bit pricey, but I think they have a wonderful courses in terms of product management stuff.
Thank you so much for that. I've been interested in product management, but like to every person I kind of speak with, they say finish engineering, do software or something, and then go to product management. So I just wanted to know your thoughts on that.
It's a bit of a matured area usually, but again, and if you feel, I mean, for example, if you work in a startup, pretty much you'll do a product management on a depth level, on a wide level, because you have to manage different aspects of a product, even though you're specifically aligned for one particular issue. So I would say startups are a good place to do product management, but if you want to do in a very corporate level product management, I would say try to establish yourself in the organization so that you'll get the position right.
Got it. Thank you so much.
No.
Yeah.
How does a master's degree improve our employability? Like, could you talk about with respect to such product-based company like Volvo Cars?
So usually masters are something like a gateway in a very global level. Mastersல நீ bachelorஸ்ல படிச்சா பெருசா எதுவும் படிச்சிட மாட்டேன். Usually on a global scenario, the course and curriculum level I'm speaking, I've seen through many curriculums of different universities as well. Just maybe a bit of depth can be there, but you always have to usually pretty much on a very global, on a generic scale, masters are nothing but a gateway. But employability is something that you equip within yourself in terms of building the profile, which I have shown you earlier in the slides. Those are not the only metrics that I'm talking, but there are many other ways how you build your profile. But employability is something that you have to come up within yourself. That's what I feel. A course wouldn't make you employable. Course can give you a platform or a thinking point of view to make how you can be employable in particular aspect that you always want to do.
I think there's a related question in the chat actually. That's a very good one, like by Arshad. Are you able to read the chat? Yeah.
Thanks, Arshad. Will you assist people to pursue masters in Europe for the students who is really? Yeah, I have done quite some. Let me know. I mean, reach out to me if you have some doubts. I mean, I usually again on a bit tighter schedule. I'll usually reply on weekends. So get back to me on the weekends if you have questions, Arshad. Thanks for the question.
Venkatraman has asked another question in the chat. From your takeaways? Yeah, right. It's a big question.
Interesting viewpoint. Actually, it's I mean, again, that's what I mentioned, Venkatraman. This is not the one single thing that you should follow. This is something that I followed. Of course, your question on focus the big picture. I don't have any big picture, but I'm just following what interests me now. So I don't know whether this can be answers actually, but how to form a big picture or goal? What's yours? Second question, that's really good one. But again, big picture is something that of course, you can't set as such. It's something that intuitive thinking la varradhu. எனக்கு என்ன பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் I got my big picture in a very intuitional level, and you can form a big picture basically on a theoretical level if you can able to link up different aspect of your profile. For example, that I showed you earlier, how I built the integration part in my master's. So if you can able to link different aspect of your profile and what all you did in the different different incidents, different point of your life, if you connect it, you can find a red thread. That's the red thread that you need to paint your big picture with. That's the try to align your goal, because you without you yourself knowing that you have done all those, making the connection. So that can be a good starting point, but that's not the starting point. That can be a good starting point to have your big picture set. And what's mine? I mean, I want to make the maximum possible impact that my soul can able to bring up. So I'll try to do என்னால எவ்வளவு முடியுமோ அவ்வளவு இம்பாக்ட் வந்து on a global scale I'll make it. So that's my big picture in whatever, I mean, என்னோட usual words இருக்கும். In whatever possible way I can able to make the impact in a quantifiable and qualifiable way, so that it will be positively impactful to the future and to the world.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
On what basis did you select your college? Whether based on country, college reputation, college cost of tuition, or any other basis? When you meant college, Shayakas, I felt I thought it's the university that I did my masters with. SSN SSN, there's like obvious answer, you know. But answering your question for the university, it's on all actually, because I mean. One steers the other. Country, pretty much I did pretty much in 5 different countries, so that's different point of mine. College reputation, of course, I always would love to have that as a first option, because you'll get a different set of dimension dimensions in your masters if you study in different college. So that's like a different exposure point. SSN படிக்கிறது எவ்வளவு பெரிய ஒரு exposure point compared to other one. That I always feel that. Cost of tuition completely on a personal level. I also have that as a metric because I wanted to have a full scholarship and I also I looked after for that and I got it. So that's the basis that I had. But one thing I was sure that I shouldn't do yet another 2-year Instagram picture post பண்ற மாஸ்டர்ஸ் பண்ண கூடாதுன்னு நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தேன். So yeah.
Sir?
No sir, bro.
Oh, okay. No, see, for someone who's in a mechanical line trying to get an automobile, how important, like how much time should one from mechanical line spend, you know, in IoTs, in electrical lines and all? Because considering that automobile is going more about electrification and autonomous cars, na ipo na every time mechanical spend panno ana adhu evlo important update panikradhukku.
Yeah, sure. That's a good question. Talking mechanical engineering, it was the thing few years ago, but then computer science, you know, they just came forward as a global level market on the level demand. But answering your question, mechanical is something is still a thing. I mean, Volvo Cars has a very huge mechanical division out there. The way how you can able to connect with IoT is a very good thought process. Good for you, Ajay. Try to get the systems thinking. If you can able to understand the system from a mechanical, since you're a mechanical engineer, I presume, you can able to think in a very mechanical way, systems thinking, and try to connect it with application. Usually computer science comes into the application part, logical thinking part. So if you can able to derive your system thinking and to applications thinking, then that gives a good share of knowledge and interest that you personally have to share how much ever time you need to allocate for your system thinking, application thinking, and get your full stack right. Full stack. Yeah.
Hi bro, I have a question for you. Vishal.
Hi,
So நீங்க வந்து ஒரு ப்ராடக்ட் மேனேஜராகவும் இருக்கீங்க as well as an entrepreneur. So how do you balance those two things as a single person? Like either you have to concentrate on one thing, no, ஒரு full concentration ஒரு விஷயம் பண்ணாதான் it will be like worth it. So how do you manage that?
Good question. Full concentration ஒரு thing பண்ணாதானே worth itன்றது individualistic. என்ன பொறுத்தவரையும் ரெண்டுமே எனக்கு I coexist. Product managers on a very Silicon Valley level, they are quoted as mini CEOs. So you have to encompass every aspect of a product. So that particular product, if you just put it into a startup and release it as a startup entity, then you become a CEO. So pretty much it's like a coexistential point of view. I leverage learning from this startup environment and put it into my product management aspect into Volvo Cars, and vice versa. So I feel personally I can able to balance them, but on a very work physical level, it takes a toll on my daily cycle. For example, sleep cycle, it just gets erratic. But I mean, as I can mention, at this point of your age, the blood should be gushing out, so you can able to make use of that to compensate for that. So pretty much.
Thanks, bro.
No worries. Thanks.
So I think actually another repeating question that I saw in the forms that I was actually submitted. I don't know who exactly asked it, but the thing is basically, during BE, should we focus simply on learning whatever you want to learn, or like நம்ம interest படி போட்டே இருக்கணுமா, இல்லனா should we focus on something specific like placement பத்தி? Like for example, for placements maybe coding is required, for example in computer science at least, but we might be interested in development and other things like that. So should we look at the big picture and just learn skills, or should we go specifically with respect to like placements or off campus and offers and things like that? So
yeah, you can finish it. No,
I'm done. I'm basically done. That's basically it. Yeah.
I mean, interesting question. Again, I don't want to fluff I don't want to be fluffy in my answer, but the right answer, again, it's more individualistic. But என்ன பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் ஒரு societal viewpointல இருந்து a successful person பார்த்தாங்க அப்படின்னா, it usually will be a person who balances both. If you can able to balance, and as I did, like if I can able to coexist both, like for example, if you can able to balance your searching sorting algorithm thingy for the job market preparation along with your coding ways of doing it, that would be sweet spot. That's actually a sweet spot. But if you can't, then there comes the question more individualistic level, what you prioritize in your life. So I would say again, think in a iterational level. நான் இதுலயே iterate பண்ணிட்டு போனா என்னால நான் அச்சீவ் பண்ணதை நான் நினைக்கிறது வர முடியுமா? Again, there comes the perseverance part. There are many aspects in life. Of course, it's not, life is not an easy part. I mean, it's easy if you don't want a complex part in it. So if you feel like you can able to do the iterations in the current, let's say நான் வந்து ஒரு application develop பண்ணனும், I don't want to focus on searching, sorting and get a job in whatever IBM Aptom, அதெல்லாம் வேணாம் அப்படின்னா, if you want to feel that in your life, then you have to iterate in whatever step that you want, but try to meet your societal level expectations, which help you in future. And that's something. I mean, I don't want to put all the concentration on that aspect, but it will ease off some that you want to do personally, which is not the expectation that they want. So try to balance them on a very generic scale. That's the answer. But again, it's more individualistic. If you feel like you can sit and create a OS in like 6 months, go for it.
Hi, sir. I'm Lakshna. Okay,
No,
sorry.
sir.
Okay, sorry. I'm not calling sir. Okay, my question is, I see a lot of people going for masters right after their UG, and few people do it after work experience. So, I mean, going for masters is like an instant boost to your career and everything. But can you just like let us know what are the pros and cons of both like going with work experience and without? So.
Good question. With the work experience, I can speak because I did that, and without working experience, I can attribute to what I've seen. So அதுதான் என்னால சொல்ல முடியும் நான் personal level ல. But both don't have so again on a very long-sighted view, after 10 years நீ masters முடிச்சிட்டோ இல்ல bachelor's முடிச்சு 10 years கழிச்சு நீங்க பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, you will have pretty much a similar impact. But for masters, I would say if you have 1 or 2 years experiences in your kitty, I think that helps you as a very personal level, because it gives you more of a maturity that what you want in your life, and it give you more maturity. Of course, at the age of 19, 20, you'll have so much aspirations, which might not be more realistic as well. But it's good actually. It's good to have. But when you get to work in an environment, you'll understand what and how the real world looks like. So that'll give you a different level of maturity. So if you take masters, that adds on to what you're gonna do in masters and make it more like extract more juices from that aspect of masters as well. So other I would recommend. Same if you do your masters, if you feel like if you feel like you know things on a corporate level, on a market level, and if you want to do masters immediately after your bachelor's, well and good. I mean, you already ramped 2 years in your life, and you can just go for it and do your masters and get back to work. But again, just ensure that you have the right level of maturity. You get it from different aspects.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer. It was actually really informative. Thank you.
Hello, Anna. I'm Anish.
Hi, Anish.
Yeah, just like how you just told that, after work, it's better to go. I mean, it's better if you do some work, get experience, and then go for masters. But won't like many people, once they start working, like a few people, won't they get like accustomed to the work culture, and they'll be like why leave your job now when you're already getting paid enough, and then now go study again?
Wonderful question. நான் என் personal level answer பண்றேன். Whatever money that I earn while I was in India working for some Ford and stuff, I never, I mean, again, it's your personal value that you connect with. If you want to have your life settled with the money that you are happy earning in India, then of course you will get inclined to all that accustomed process that you mentioned. But if you have a different level of aspiration, if you have the ask for what you want to achieve in your life, and if that demands masters, then again, as I mentioned, நீ என்னதான் iterate பண்ணாலும் you will not get restrained, you will not get constrained by the mentality that you get from your monthly salary in India. You will be pushed to the global scenario, or in a higher study scenario, even in India. So if you feel like you need to get the academia exposure, then you will be getting it. So it's on a very it's on a very practical scale. You will be pushed by the efforts that you put in and the aspirations that you have in.
Okay, Anna, thank you very much.
Confused, Arala? I hope he's not confused.
Yeah, I'm not confused. Thank you very much. That helped.
Thank you. I'm happy you guys have so many interesting questions, and feel free. It's just 5 o'clock in my area. I mean, so, and it's super sunny. So go for your questions. So I'm happy answering.
I had a question, Anna. This is on a more less serious and a more personal note. Are you currently happy and satisfied with what you do? Like, you've come so far, so I just wanted to ask that.
It's an interesting question. I of course நான் happy இல்லனா நான் அந்த விஷயம் பண்ண மாட்டேன் on a very first hand. So I am happy because I can able to make more impacts that I always wanted to have in the societal level, in a planetary level, and on a personal level. So if I can able to go back to sleep without getting tired, then I'll not be happy. So but then every day night if I go to sleep, I'm getting tired, so I'm happy.
Nice. I think that's all that you covered everything. Like all the form questions that we went over, we covered up all the main topics that were asked. I think you covered them very, very well. Actually, thank you very much for spending your time with us, Anna. Like I was Anna, sort of bro. At this point, I became informal within this meet itself.
No, exactly. I mean, sir is a British imperialistic word. I don't know why we still use it. I mean, don't ever use it. Next time, if someone expects sir, they might be on a different planetary level. I mean, on a different timeline. Just don't mention them. Call by their name. I mean, you can even use Mr. That's a respectful word. Mr. is not a disrespectful. And proper and if you have let's say professors there, call by professor. That's even more respectful than sir. So call them as professor. Call them as by their name with a very respectful note. But I mean, I'm happy that whatever I mentioned. I could see one last question. What is your perspective about GATE after UG?
I mean,
should I now? I'll make a quick slide. GATE is something meant for those who are looking for real hardcore academia. Go for it. I would recommend that. You'll get more depth in terms of education when you do PG in India. That's the intention that I got when I was looking after that possibilities. Again, it's coming to more an individualistic level. You prioritize your life. You will have a different environment, different background, which suits different conditions. So I would recommend GATE if that suits you. On a final note, I would like to conclude. சஷாங்கா இல்லைனா அப்புறமா வந்து அண்ணா முடிச்சிடலான்னு சைடில் மெசேஜ் பண்ணுவான். So I'm happy with the interactions that I could able to make with you guys. Feel free to give the feedback form to me as well. And a very big shout out to ACM guys. If you have a digital claps that you can make, give all those to ACM committee guys. They did a wonderful job. They're doing a wonderful job by bringing in Suresh Kumar, Santosh. I've seen videos as well. Super good efforts. Wonderful guys. And I hope it helps you in any point of your life. Reach out to me in LinkedIn. And someone asked me, mail ID. You just search Balaji Nagaraj Kumar in LinkedIn. You should see my same face. I'm happy helping you guys. Love you all.
Yeah, thank you, Anna, for patiently hearing to our questions and answering each and every one of them patiently. Like, உங்களை மாதிரி ஒரு உலகம் சுற்றம் வாலிபன் கிட்ட இருந்து வர experiences எல்லாம் it cannot be beaten. It's very helpful for to all of us actually. So maybe we can learn something more from getting from an experienced person like yourself. And on behalf of SSN-ACM student chapter, I thank you for spending your valuable time with us, and I thank my committee for organizing this event properly. And my team ஒரு நல்ல ஜாப் பண்ணிருக்காங்க. I am proud to be part of the team as well. And நிறைய பேர் வந்திருக்காங்க இந்த ஈவெண்ட்டுக்கு from my college, from other departments, from my own SCSE department, from other colleges as well. Few people வந்திருக்காங்க. And even one professor has come, Leo sir வந்திருக்காரு. So it's good to see everyone over here. And thank you for making this event a grand success. Nothing more can be asked from everyone who participated in the event. And thank you for making the session interactive with the Mentimeter and everything. We hope to see you soon in the future. Maybe பார்க்க முடிஞ்சா நல்லா இருக்கும்.
Definitely. I'm happy meeting you guys, and definitely we'll meet sometime in future as well. So yeah.
Thanks a lot. Now.
Yes. Have a nice weekend and enjoy. Don't forget the enjoy aspect. So enjoyment aspect.
Thanks, man.
I'll leave.
Have a nice day.